commend you on calling the hearing, because I think
OC asked for the Mitchell-Duberstein investigation.
I believe it's time for Juan Antonio Samaranch to resign. I don't believe that any credible reform can be undertaken at the international level unless he steps down. He has the power to make the appointment, and I think that any reform lacks any real credibility unless he takes what I consider the honorable decision to step down and make way for younger and hopefully more credible leadership.
Reports about improper use of funds of the Olympic.
Judging from the pace of the appointments of the members, it's not been encouraging.
I don't believe you should base legislation on the current state of affairs. I believe you should base legislation on the state of affairs which exists when the IOC completes its reform process, assuming that they do act finally within a reasonable period of time and don't simply protract it so long that no conclusion emerges. I don't think that's likely to be the case. I think they will come up with recommendations. They will then either act or not act on them, and I believe at that point you will be in the proper position to judge what type of legislation is necessary from this committee's point of view.
So Mr. Benz just said perhaps that the public trust must be restored and the integrity of the rings must be regained. It is my hope that within these organizations there are individuals with the courage to be reformers. It's a heavy burden and the stakes are high. Olympic moments are for the ages. Without rigorous reform process, I fear that the Olympic ideal may end up a relic of the past.
We have taken put on the agenda of the IOC
Fundamental systemic reform.
All IOC members recognize that if the IOC does not successfully reform itself, the Olympic movement cannot be maintained. As someone whose life has been blessed by the magic of the Olympic Games, there's no sadder statement that I could make.
To discontinue the interlocking directorates between an IOC